Another one, another missing kid. Are you kidding me? Yes, indeed. GUS LAMONT. Since September 27th, you guys, there's a missing child again. And this time, we've got a little bit of the nobody eyes on this child intentionally. Like, I guess they're saying that in their neck of the woods where they live, children are allowed to play that are very young of age, all by themselves with no eyes on them for 30 minutes or so in the outback of Australia. Anybody else like thinking to yourself, what? This is one of the largest missing child cases in Australia to date. They have really put a lot of work into finding little Gus. Let's go ahead, let's get the PowerPoint up here, and I'll show you a little bit of what I'm talking about. So on the screen, you see this beautiful golden-haired, absolutely gorgeous child. This is GUS LAMONT, and you can see he's not very old. Now, there was a whole scam on Facebook where a friend of the family had given an interview, and then somebody put a hoax together and said that was the grandma. But I actually have grandma on the screen. From my understanding, this was grandpa, but then there was some transgender, whatever. Now this is grandma. All right, so Jennings type. You know what I'm saying. I find this very, very strange. Have we done this one before? No. This child went missing on September 27th. So 22 days ago. Hey, Rach is here. Good to see you, lovely. He is precious. And that hair is like a golden halo. Hi, Trina. Hi, that girl, Nikki UK, Ginny Bill. Hello, my lovelies. My beautiful Debbie Gazzardo. Lovely Jenny Bill. Jenny Bill. I think Jennifer Swain's here too. Yeah, Jennifer Swain, everybody. Hello, my beautiful mods. Hello, all that are watching. So let's go ahead. Now, what I did is I captured the last week of updates. So you're going to hear the first update where they're looking for this child, the second update where we're getting more information, and then the third update, which is up to date, is they just called the search off with no trace of this child. It's heartbreaking. All right, listen, and then I've got information about his dad, and they're living separate, and it gets really confusing. There's a lot to look at.
Family of a little boy lost in the state's outback is clinging on to hope he may still be found alive as they've released a photo of their cherished 4-year-old. The search for GUS LAMONT is now bigger than ever, with the Army joining police and the SES on day 6 of the huge operation.
A quiet, adventurous little boy missing.
Our little boy lost. Wants his mum.
The blonde, curly-haired 4-year-old vanished on Saturday night, the sun going down on a 6th day of searching around the family homestead, where he was last seen happily playing in sand.
Now, I want to let you know, I find it disturbing. Every time I hear this, I'm like, oh my golly, like that's the biggest red flag ever, is that the parents wanted privacy and did not even release the first photo of this child till a few days ago. Well, I say days, a week and some ago. They waited a week for this child to be missing before they released one, and that's all we have is one photo. That's a big red flag to me. This is in Australia. I guess I'll call it Albert. Hold on. Let me double check where this exactly is. Hold on, y'all. I want the town. I've got all these parts in these websites highlighted, so I don't want to lose that information. but you do need to know the exact location, so we'll find it. I had it in my head, but it's not. Adelaide, Australia, northeast of Adelaide, about 300 kilometers, so kilometers. He disappeared on September 27th, playing on a dirt mound while at approximately 5 p.m. at Oak Park Station, Homestead, which is 300 kilometers northeast of Adelaide. Okay. They live on a sheep ranch. And so Grandma and Grandpa, the woman, she allows Gus at his little age to go play on a dirt mound in front of their house while she's taking care of his 1-year-old little brother. For 30 full minutes, she doesn't check on him. And when she does, no Gus. Now, there's not a great deal of trees. There's brush, but the terrain is rough. It's like hilly and gouges, and they have done everything. They had the National Guard out there, or whatever their version is. You'll hear. So let me get back over. It's just unbelievable.
It's hard for a little 4-year-old, especially in this weather at night. It's bloody cold out here. Yunda's the coldest place in South Australia.
A 4-year-old lad, they just don't disappear into thin air. They have to be somewhere.
Today, the army moved in, 50 soldiers on the ground to help scour the rugged and unforgiving 60 square kilometre property. Yesterday, searchers found a footprint, a specialised tracker brought in, but unable to find any further clues.
Unfortunately, he couldn't find any other footprints. He could find cat prints, foxes, but he couldn't find any other kid prints.
Now that he's been missing for 6 days without water, food or shelter, police say the search for Gus has moved to a recovery phase. Police say the private and stoic family, 7th generation pastoralists on this land, have been given extra victim support services as they come to terms with the unthinkable. But the operation continues, police vowing to give it everything they have, community spirit in the small town shining through, locals dropping everything to assist.
It absolutely seemed like the right thing to do, to make sure that everybody's well fed and well nourished. We could help, and we absolutely wanted to.
Hope's fading, but not lost.
Well, I reckon he's here somewhere still. That's my gut feeling. I hope I'm right.
Hannah Ford, 7 News.
This little face, y'all. This little baby. Nobody knows what happened. Now, we can listen to everybody out there that's the police and this saying, online speculation doesn't help. Well, we don't have parents advocating, nor do we have grandparents advocating for help. In fact, they're saying, we don't want your help. Oh, yeah. In fact, a very good expert, a missing persons expert, an ex-police officer, actually shares his sentiments, which is an interesting thought. So let me get over and share with you. Is this the one? No, I moved it all around because I wanted to. All right, we'll get back into the footprint that they found in just a minute. Okay. Let's get up here and take it in context. So I'm going to move the article over to you guys over here. That way I can read it to you. GUS Lamont's search called off. Difficult and challenging. It says, police have called off their search for 4-year-old GUS Lamont after not finding any evidence of the little boy. Police and the SES searched a 5.5 kilometer radius around the homestead where he went missing, but found no trace of Gus. They had previously searched 470 square kilometers looking for him. The fact that Gus is a small child, the terrain is extremely rugged, harsh, and subject to changing weather conditions has made the searching difficult and more challenging for those involved, said a statement from the SA Police. Each of these factors may have contributed to the lack of evidence discovery. The location also presents less opportunities for police searching for a missing person compared with an urban environment. Quote, police have been making every effort to return Gus to his family through detailed, meticulous, and protracted searching of the property, and this remains a priority. Gus disappeared on 27th of September at his family's homestead in remote South Australia, about 40 kilometers south of Yunta. They are saying that the family is continuing to help with the investigation and are complying to any and all requests. A family friend, Bill Harbison, says, "This has come as a shock to our family and friends. We are struggling to comprehend what has happened. Gus's absence is felt in all of us, and we miss him more than words can express. Our hearts are aching, and we are holding on to hope that he will be found and returned to us safely." Previously, police revealed that they are looking into every possible scenario on how the missing boy disappeared. Listen to this. Former policeman and missing persons expert Aaron Stewart believes the answers to finding little Gus are on the property. He says, quote, "I honestly believe the answer is back there on the property," Aaron Stewart told the Advisor. He says, "Go back, rethink it, re-interview everybody, but take them back not 30 minutes. Take them back a week." You feel me? Like, I'm not the only one. Did y'all not see it the whole time I read it? Was it not on the screen? Yeah, it wasn't on the screen. I'm sorry. This little boy here. Yeah, I see it now. It's too late that it's blank. Well, at least I was reading it to you, not showing you something, right? It was just the words. So even the expert, missing persons expert, believes the answers are back on the farm. I do not even begin to understand, no matter what society you are in, of allowing a 4-year-old to tend to themselves where you don't have eyes on them. And obviously, if that is their belief, they need to reevaluate how safe that is, being that they have no evidence, not a footprint. So let me get into that as well. Only this time, I'll just read it to you. Let's see. Jason O'Connell, who spent over 90 hours combing the homestead alongside his partner Jen, told the Italy Advisor, quote, "If he was in a bad way or if he had passed away, we'd listen for foxes looking for birds of prey. No birds of prey means he's not here." So we're back to the Jay Slater case where we're like, there were no birds. See? We were right about the birds. Mr. O'Connell describes witnessing the devastating impact on Gus's father during their joint search efforts. Assistant Commissioner Ian Parrott confirmed investigators found no tangible evidence throughout the operation. Nothing. Like, not a trace. Mr. Parrott says, and I know it's not Parrott, it's probably Perrott, but whatever, I don't know how to say it, so we're going to call him Mr. Parrott. No tangible pieces of evidence such as footprints, hat, clothing, or anything has been able to be identified to locate any direction of travel to assist the searchers. A footprint was discovered during the search, initially considered potentially significant, but has been ruled out, saying it's unrelated to Gus's disappearance. This is just... Timmy says, wow, Viv, that's scary. Viv. Okay, there's a lot to this. Rabbit or foxholes jumped into my mind because I live in the bush. My stupid conky Jack Russell got himself lost a few times because he ran down holes and got himself stuck underground. I don't even wanna. Oh. Yeah, it's the fact that this expert in missing persons is suggesting that we need to go back and look at what everybody was doing the week before. That's scary. Peter says, you know about the mine shafts, Viv? There's mine shafts. Our whole planet is covered in mine shafts, I'm learning, but mostly where children go missing. Jennifer Swain says, not having eyeballs on a 4-year-old outside is huge neglect by this grandmother. You guys, it's a grandpa that turned into a grandma. I'm just thinking, I'm sorry, I've got to say it. I'm not against transgender and all that kind of stuff. But it just seems weird for an elderly person to go, well, I've been a grandpa my whole life, but now I'm going to turn into a grandma. This woman, male woman, whatever she is now, no disrespect, but she's in the outback wearing a sweater tied around her, all prim and proper out there when she was a grandpa. She's the one that's supposed to be watching these kids. I don't get it. It's disturbing. And I'll be honest, you know, I'm going to say how I feel. I pick up Norman Bates kind of creepy crap. I'm just going to say it. And I know somebody's going to be like, oh, you offended me. Oh, well, that's my opinion. Just saying it's weird. I mean, I'm your grandpa today, but tomorrow I'm your grandma. What? Y'all. Why in the world would someone at that point in their life decide to go through all this to make themselves the opposite gender? It's strange. This is the very person, grandmother, that's supposed to be watching this child. I'm getting William Terrell vibes all over this. And if you don't know who that is, that's a little boy that was missing, that was with his grandmother and the foster parents. So it was all foster parents that now we suspect highly that the foster mother was the one indeed that probably took action well before the child was missing. But we can't prove anything and we can't find the child. So I'm getting that feeling. Hold on just a minute. I have a visitor. You go do your thing.
How does this work?
It's a notebook. You just rip the sheet off.
I'm trying.
Kids. All right, I'm back, you guys. Lizanne, are you having problems being quiet? Broken ribs? Lizanne, honey, sending you tons of healing energy. Oh, my golly. The hills have eyes all over again, Nina. That's how I'm feeling, too. Peter says meth is a big issue in country Australia. It's an issue everywhere, isn't it? It's like that show Transparent. I don't know. I've got more to show you, so we'll go ahead and get back to the PowerPoint here. Let's see. We did this one. Let's do this one. We're going to work our way up.
We begin with exclusive new details about the night 4-year-old Gus Lamont vanished on his family's outback property.
Lauren Rose is live at Yunta, and Lauren, we're learning more about what family members were doing when he disappeared.
We are, Will, and while it helps paint a picture of that tragic night, sadly there's still no sign of the 4-year-old. 7 News has been able to establish a timeline starting at 5.
Does anybody else look at this and feel like Emmanuel Haro case all over again? Look at that homestead. So Leanna Fagan says Gus's mother lived on the homestead with grandmother and father, but Gus's father didn't get along with the grandmother and father due to the grandmother-father transition, is what you read. I read that too. Now, I do have a story, and it's heartbreaking because Gus's father was on another part of the property and has been working for something like 2 years to renovate a rundown little house and make it livable so that all the family could be under one roof again, and had just completed this process and had the house ready to go to move Gus in with them when Gus went missing. No, just family. Just family. Just breathe. Just family has seen him. Did I? Let me fix my little chat thing here so you can see the person's name. I think so, Nikki. I think there's a lot of secrets. And I find it interesting when, I'm starting a case and I'm like, okay, why haven't I heard about this case? Why hasn't it been right in my face? Oh, because the family was keeping it as hush-hush as possible and not even releasing a photo of the child until a week had passed and then released one. They're not doing interviews, and they're basically saying, we don't want your help. It is, I don't believe in coincidences either, Allison. Suspicious, highly suspicious. That is suspicious. So if this is true, if there is some sort of a disconnect between the grandmother father and the father of Gus, and he's finally going to get his Gus, did somebody decide to make it so that that isn't going to happen? And may I say, men? Okay, Just Breathe. Are anybody else feeling the way me and Just Breathe are, that there's something suspicious? Like, I can't help but get Norman Bates. It's weird. It's weird. Yes, it's very strange. You think they have something to hide? I don't know. We'll see.
PM on Saturday, September 27, when Gus was last seen playing in sand out the front of the homestead. We now know Gus's grandma was watching his little brother Ronnie inside while his mum and another grandparent were 10 kilometres away looking after the station's sheep. Gus was discovered missing at 5:30 and the police were called 3 hours later. Today, 80 members of the Australian Defence Force have split into groups of 20 to widen the search area even further. They've been walking up to 25 kilometres a day in hot and harsh conditions. It's now been 18 days since Gus wandered off. In Australia, his disappearance has been compared to the high-profile missing persons cases of Azaria Chamberlain and William Tyrrell, while overseas media has drawn parallels of their own.
We have a missing persons case with ourselves, with family, a young girl called Madeleine McCann, who many years ago went missing in Portugal. And people still talk about it, and we still try and theorise as to exactly what happened.
Tomorrow, the search will start and finish earlier as temperatures here are set to soar into the mid-30s by the afternoon. It will resume on Friday. Such is the determination to find closure for Gus's family.
Closure for Gus's family. I would love that there would be great news that Gus is found in relatively good health, but we're way out in the middle of, 3 weeks. Basically, yeah, it's the 19th. It's 22 days, so over 3 weeks. I don't see that happening. And they have called the search off. They're saying, just like they always do, that there's no signs of foul play. Okay, there's no evidence the child was anywhere. There's no evidence that the child was even at the house. or anything. There's nothing. So the lack of evidence should make someone suspicious. Oh, under a dump truck. Wow. I mean, at least they found the child, right? But in Gus's, they're not. They're not finding him. Do you wonder, like Just Breathe, do you guys wonder if they like study the McCann case or the William Terrell case or the Dylan Eiler case or the Summer Wells case? I could keep going. The Michael Vaughn case. All these cases. Yes, it's a recovery now. I try not to wait too long when it comes to a missing child. I want to get right on it. Well, yesterday, I happened to see that they had called the search off for a little boy, and I was like, what little boy? I looked this up last night, and I'm like, a week and they're done? But then I look at the terrain, and I'm like, there's nowhere for this kid to be hiding. And if they have no evidence, I'm very suspicious of this. And then I go to look up the kid, and I'm like, oh, so there's one picture. Then I'm looking at the articles that they're writing. I kid you not. Let me see if I still have that article up, because if I do, I want to share it with you. No, I don't have it. All right, you'll have to Google it yourself. Check this out. We're looking for a little baby boy that's only 4 years old, which should be the only focus there is. However, the grandfather, wasn't the person being featured in an interview. It was actually a family friend, and the press said that it was the grandmother father. But it wasn't, all right? So there became a whole big, don't you dare say that's me kind of thing. It's not me. I'm the grandmother, right? But it wasn't about Gus. It wasn't about the 4-year-old missing. It was a whole huge, like, is this the grandmother or not? She says it's not her, blah, 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 blah. But you haven't even been talking or looking or advocating. Maybe you've been looking, but you have not been advocating for this child because you don't want help. I'm speechless. The last Facebook post of the Aboriginal tracker said, time to investigate the family. Okay, I mean, I keep knocking all the stuff around in my office as I reach out, like, my mind blown. All right. Yes, Carla, thank you. Our whole family is starting to feel that way, and we've only just started the case. And that is that this child's been missing longer than they're saying. How can there be so many similarities? This case just gets wild. Okay, Viv says, there's the worst of the worst, Peter, and never sucks up. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Jennyville says, the most centered, selfish individuals involve these kind of cases. Okay, that's a good question. Jennifer Swain says, is it that we're more aware of these children going missing, or is it happening more? Well, our population is growing. We now have mathematical in the picture. You know, heavy-duty, hardcore rugs. You know, I think it's happening more. I pray God protects our babies too. Aussie Sling Viv, thank you. It is happening way too soon. But Peter, you say likely an animal? Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. I don't care who you are. There's no animal that went through, you know, how to cover up their tracks and hide this attack on a child. Even if the child was attacked and carried off for a ways, they have done an extremely in-depth even had the army out there marching around, the child's remains would have been found. There would have been something left, even bones. There would have been a scene around the bones. There would have been birds circling that were picking the bones. I'm not buying no animal carried this child off. I went and looked up animals in areas. Woo woo, they've got some parakeets and some parrots and cockatoos. They don't even have, like, you know, big burly bears that are going to come up and do it. They may have something like a coyote or something, but I mean, even then, there's going to be evidence of this child if any animals did something. If he got stung by something like a scorpion or a snake bit him, anything poisonous, he's not going to make it very far. They're going to find his remains. So I don't buy that. So for me, I don't buy the whole animal thing. Leanna says they haven't even found the hat Gus was wearing, so I don't believe an animal. They found nothing. Nothing. This is just wild. Lynn says this is nuts how all these children just keep coming up missing and no one gets held accountable for it. Whoever care they are in are responsible. I agree. I don't know. I feel really weird about the whole grandma person. I just do. I get weird vibes. Seems like they want to hide the grandmother-father stuff, and that could have been behind the disappearance of wee Gus. Makes you wonder, makes you wonder. All right, let's head over here and I'll share this with you. Actually, let's stay on this screen, and that way you have something to look at while I read. The hidden detail about Gus Lamont's family life that makes the tragedy even harder to bear. Missing boy's dad was trying to bring the family together. Okay, why is this so tight? Let me see if I can stretch this out. No, I can't. Okay. In the lead up to Gus Lamont's disappearance, the heartbroken father of the missing 4-year-old had been painstakingly renovating a house in a nearby town, preparing it for his young family to move into before the little boy vanished. Joshua Lamont, who lives about 200 kilometers from Yunta in a small South Australian town of Jamestown, had spent years fixing up a modest 2-bedroom cottage so his partner Jess and their 2 boys could finally live together under one roof. Friends say the devoted dad was counting down the months until Gus began school, eager to create a stable home life after years of living between 2 properties. But the dream was shattered when Gus vanished from his grandparents' remote property near Yunta 19 days ago, sparking one of South Australia's largest police searches in years. The little boy was last seen playing on a mound of dirt near the house on September 27th while his father cared for his baby brother Ronnie inside. Gus's mother Jess and the other grandparent, you notice they don't say grandmother or grandfather for the other one, and his other grandparent were about 10 kilometers away, tending to the station's sheep. Mr. Lamont was not at the property at the time, and his friend said he only learned of his son was missing when the police arrived at his door in the early hours of the morning. The grandmother-father discovered Gus was gone when she went to call him inside for dinner about 5:30, and the family reported him missing 3 hours later. Now, let's go ahead to the website. Let me get it back over here. This is Gus's mother and his father. Quite an age difference there, in my opinion. Could be wrong. Joshua Lamont with his partner Jess and their 2 boys to live together. Okay. Here's an up close of the property. And here's a house that he's renovating. Why would it have taken years, you guys? Come on. We all know drywall, some paint, 30 days. Bathroom, maybe that could take you a couple months. But years? Look at him. What is this, a staged photo? Mr. Lamont has not returned to his partially renovated home since Gus disappeared. This is suspicious to me, y'all. Mom looks young. I thought so too. Bush rancher could be. This is the dad. Look how he looks like. Oh, I would describe them as stoic, Commissioner Stevens says, but you can imagine how they're feeling without their boy and without answers as to what's happened to him. This would be traumatic for any family. Police this afternoon confirmed that they found no trace of Gus and that the search likely will end today, and indeed it did. I just don't. You guys, let's go back over to my thumbnail. This is Grandma Pa, right here. This is Grandma Pa. Do you see her night? She's dressed so nicely out there for that interview. Y'all, if one of my kids was missing, I don't care if it was 10 weeks later, I'm certainly not going to get my finest best and look great for every interview because I probably am not going to give a shit what I look like. Especially if it's not even my kid. I'm not the mom and I've lost somebody's kid too. Oh my gosh. This is probably Australia's biggest missing kid case since the dingo. Renee, you just said since the dingo ate my baby case. Okay, so I called Jennifer Swain this morning and I'm like, hey, I got to talk to you about, have you heard about the case of Gus? And she's like, Gus, no, I've never heard that. I'm like, well, it just makes me think of the dingo ate my baby off of Jerry Seinfeld. That whole thing. But that was a real story too. It's wild. The dingo ate my baby. You call bullcrap. Thank you, Carla. I feel the same way. Y'all, I'm going to pull some cards. I know some of y'all, that's not your thing. A lot of us, we're going to pull cards. And today's our big giveaway over there on Crime Story Mama. So I'm excited to find out. Somebody gets to go on a free shopping spree. Grandma still looks like a man, sorry. Okay, thank you. I mean, really? This is so weird. Allison says, I'd be looking like I'd been dragged through the hedgehog backwards through troughs and eye bags. Oh my gosh, you guys would be like, I didn't even think it was Mama D, right? The dingo ate my baby. That's what I'm feeling right now. I have no filter either, you know that. I'm just saying, Norman Batesy, I got a feeling. Nobody cares, it's all over. I care, Peter. I care. Our family cares, and we're going to look into it. Carrie says, I'm wondering why it took 3 hours to call police. What were they doing for 3 hours? And to me, they just needed a pair of binoculars because there's not a tree for miles. Like I can see for miles and miles and miles. I don't get this. Viv says, what was the poor Bubba who went missing from outside the house somewhere rural in Aussie? He was never, yeah, William Tyrell, the Spider-Man outfit. That's the little boy I talked about. Viv, have you not been listening? I talked about little William Tyrell and his foster monster. I was going to say mom, but I'm going to say monster because I still feel it. Leanna says another William Tyrell case. Missing from the grandparents, never seen again. Heartbreaking. Or Dylan Eiler. I'm just saying. I know, Liam, another case that smells. They'd spot him, surely, and there'd be birds circling. Didn't happen. Something's up here. Something's up. I agree, create a sign. He had to be gone more than 3 hours. And that one expert, he's like, I don't think they should just make him back up 30 minutes. They should have to back up a week. All right, you guys. I'm just like, okay, let's watch the last one of these. Let's get over. We'll watch the last of this, and then we'll go do our reading and pull cards and give away things.
Dozens of Defence Force personnel have packed up and left as police pull the pin on their latest outback search for South Australian boy Gus Lamont. As Lauren Rose reports, it's been almost 3 weeks since the little boy vanished from his home, seemingly without a trace.
It's the end of the road for authorities here today. They've thrown everything at this latest search, but there's still no sign of 4-year-old Gus Lamont. As Army personnel departed, another wave of bitter disappointment set in.
We haven't got the outcome that we're looking for so far, and that's really disappointing. First and foremost, our thoughts are with Gus and his family. We would love to have resolution to this matter, but not any more than the family would themselves.
Over the last 4 days, 80 soldiers have scoured 95 square kilometres of the outback sheep station by foot. They've each been walking up to 25 kilometres a day, covering a 5.5 kilometre radius from his family's homestead. No one knows if the curly-haired boy wandered off to the north, south, east or west, and to a child his height it all would have looked the same. Tomorrow marks a sombre milestone, 3 weeks since anyone saw him. His grandma left him playing in sand out the front of their house.
Wait. Y'all help me. That's the grandma pa. Grandma pa alert. Grandma pa alert. I mean, come on, y'all. Come on. Something's wrong. Something's so severely wrong. Hey, Prime Candy. Savannah for Christ, good to see you. Yeah, they've given up on Gus on the searching, but now they're starting to investigate, hopefully. Yeah, there's no water anywhere that I saw. Not that I saw. All right, so now take a good look, because it's the only picture we have of Grandpa Ma. I know, Carrie, looks just like a male. I'm just saying there's something wrong here. It looks like Simon Cowell right here. This person to me looks like Simon Cowell. Doesn't he? Carrie says still looks like male to me. Big old dude. All right, y'all. Grandpa wants to be a grandma, but loses the kids. It is a male. Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh, my God. I'm trying not to make too much of it. I'm just saying that Simon Cowell misses Grandma, Mama, Papa. Thank you, Carla. That's the exact thing I'm asking. Is she going to church or looking for a grandkid? Like everybody else has got clothes on that you could, denim and so forth, so you could be looking for a kid, right? This is Simon Powell gets everywhere. All dressed up to do the search. That was a big flag to me. All right, you guys, let me get back up here. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to head over. We're going to pull some cards because I'm not giving up on Gus, and I don't think you are ready either. I think we should find out as much info as we can and try our best to see what we find out, right? So I'll meet you over on Crime Story Mama. I love you guys to the moon and back, and I'll see you very soon. We have a big giveaway today, so I'm excited.